Well, I think I see almost a lot of faces from Saturday, which is good. Which is good. That means that you got a chance to meet our youngest son and our 4-year-old grandson. My name is Katie Hall, and I am running for the House District 39. Let me give you a little bit of background. Some of this, man or more, will absolutely love. So I am a Dreher graduate, so I grew up in downtown Columbia. And that's because my dad was a drill sergeant at Fort Jackson. I'm guilty. I am a plank owner of the NJROTC unit that is still going strong at Dreher High School. I am the mother of 2, the grandmother of 1. I have been around veterans for 50 years. Strong Thurman watched me grow up. So I got to understand how things work, how things go. I am, like I said, I am the granddaughter to the Navy. I am the daughter of the Army. I am married to the Army, and we gave birth to the Army. Our youngest son is also a disabled veteran, which I adore dearly. Now let's get into the issues. Ever since I started this run, I kept getting whims and contacts from all over the state about 2 main reasons. One, probate court. The other, family court. I understand both. In case you didn't realize, you have to have more education to be a nail tech or a wonderful cosmetologist. I think it's wonderful that they have to have that education. But my question is why would a judge who has the ability to incapacitate one of your family members not have or be required to have that kind of education? I don't understand that. Our family court, they can and often do rake you over the coals. That child is no longer a child, and just like we heard, a lot of times the best interest of the child is not served because that child is nothing but a pawn in a chess game. That makes me sick. My other thing is bond reform. Now I back the blue, and I'll back them till the cows come home to be milked, unless they give me a reason to not. Now our men and women in blue, they do everything that they possibly can do. They're out rounding up the bad guys, they're taking them to jail, and lo and behold, they get bond. How many times? Well, as of right now, there is a case in Anderson County. There is a gentleman, allegedly, was federal DUI, hit and killed a toddler. Here's the issue. We are 4 months into this year. He is on federal DUI number 6. Ask yourself, how is he constantly bonded out? I want to know why. This hits home to me. And the reason this hits home to me, my husband's biological father passed away when he was 8. A wonderful man came into his mom's life and came into their life. And that was Dad. 2 days after my mother-in-law retired. 2 days. She was hit and killed by a 7-time DUI offender. The question ought to be, well, what happened to her? How was she still there? She never got charged. I'm sorry, but she was a senator's wife. They even changed everything. Again, I back my blue until you find that one bad apple. And then I want things to help people held accountable. Now I'm going to try to get off of this subject, and I'm going to focus right here on Saluda County. Because if anybody knows me, they know I absolutely love Saluda County. I don't know if you guys go to H&J Cattle Company, but if you haven't been, I highly suggest it. They're fantastic. Everything is born there. Everything is reared there. We do not have anywhere to slaughter there. Anywhere around. They have to load everything up and take it to North Carolina to be processed. I want to process it right here. Look, we're cattle company. We're cattle country. And if you don't like cows, I kind of scratch my head, but I mean, that's where we're at. Let's try to find us a meat market, okay? Now, I'm also a firm believer in fundamental parental rights. What mom and dad say, that's what goes. End of story. They are the ultimate decision makers. I don't want anybody trying to change a child's mind at the age of 5, at the age of 10. And I guess because I worked with children with extreme special needs. I was a teacher's aide. So my love for children is huge. And people used to ask me, Katie, how many children do you have? And I would ask them, what day of the week? What time? Because it changed. Monday through Friday from 7:45 until 2:45, I had 18. After that, I had 2. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had 9. Because I was a scoutmaster. And then, of course, 1 week in July every year, I had 260. I want what's best for our kids. What is keeping our kids in Saluda today? What do we have? We're losing our kids. How much longer until Saluda is completely died out? I don't want that. I want us to thrive. I want our children to be able to inherit the ancestral land that has been in the family forever. If I would have done that, I would have been in Pickens County. If I would have done that, I would have, believe it or not, I would have been in Mulberry, Florida. Because that is where both sides of my family ended up. Everybody's heard of Keeley Lake, right? I'm assuming? That's my ancestral land. Now, if anybody has any questions, please ask away. I'll answer anything you've got. I will also tell you the truth on anything that you've got. Yes, sir?
Okay, so you talk about having these judges giving people bonds. What's your plan on stopping that?
Well, I think that what we need to have done is just like Mr. Rickenbach, Senator Rickenbach. I do believe that all judges, especially where that kind of stuff comes into play, they need to have nominations from and then have a complete panel. I don't think the way that we're doing it now is just backwards.
All right, that's good. But what about, because I've heard this through a lot of people, is how do we hold them accountable? They don't have to deal with any of the stuff we deal with. They just go home and they just sit back and watch TV. How do
And
we
right now-
hold them accountable for letting these people out?
Yes, sir. And if we haven't, I think that we have an issue. I think that there ought to be a way in order to,
Let them get sued.
well, either that, but I also think that we, just like the Ethics Commission, where if I do something wrong on my ethics paperwork, they can call me in. And I can get fined and I can get in trouble. And I think something very similar to like the Ethics Commission, then we can turn around and have them removed off the bench.
That's my whole thing, is get them gone. If they're not doing their job, they shouldn't be there.
Bingo.
If I did that at my work,
Yes.
I wouldn't be there the first time I did it.
That's
Not
exactly
seven
right.
times.
That's exactly right. And I'm right there with you. If I were to be that way when I worked, I would have lost my job. Same thing.
Well, there's a lot of questions that we can ask Peggy, and we will have a good chance to ask you questions. We're gonna have a local candidate, forum on May 19th. I sent out a notice about it today at the Mill on Main, where we will be able to have many questions for you. I hate to cut you short.
No, you're fine. You're
But I
fine.
get in trouble when these meetings go too long. And, but we really appreciate you coming, and believe me, we're gonna have plenty of questions for you on the 19th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.